How does it feel to be part of Star Wars? What did you enjoy most about the experience?
Oh God. I am so excited to be a part of the show. I am so excited for people to see what Leslie Headland has made.
Riveting.
Nerdrotic.com.
It was the most watched show on Disney Plus on a Thursday on a full moon, according to Disney, with 4.8 million viewers. 4.8 million viewers.
4.8 million views.
Views.
You definitely get the sense of best opening for a TV show in 2024.
Think about what we've got from Disney Plus in 2024. The only two high-profile releases were Echo, which ended up being, if you take it by average of how much was available at the time, the lowest rating for a Marvel show.
Or was that a shared psychosis? I can't remember if Echo was real or not.
It's hard to remember because it was like there and gone again, just like they wanted.
It happened.
And then the other one is X-Men 97, which never even broke in the Nielsen ratings, which I wouldn't expect an animated show like that that's targeted towards an older generation to break into the Nielsen ratings. That's it. The Percy Jackson thing, which did okay, that was released in 2023.
Yeah.
There's been nothing released for Disney Plus in terms of a series for them to be bragging about being the best of the retards. Like, it's just nothing there. And, well, we got also when you look at that announcement, they have never, ever released first day viewership numbers like that, ever. They typically do it after the weekend's over. For things like Loki or for things like Ahsoka or whatever, when they started to do it. And also, they usually only tell you the premiere. For example, the Ahsoka press release, the first episode of Ahsoka garnered 14 million views globally over the first 5 days. That's the press release. The Acolyte accumulates 4.8 million views in the first day. Not the first episode. So I think they might be combining the viewership for both of those episodes to make it look like a bigger number than it would be if they had compared it to something else. It's all this game of slippery math that they're trying to play to make it seem like it's a success.
Without releasing any real numbers, by the way. This is just their word. Which, I mean, they can't lie. They're not supposed to lie. But what Ryan just said, they will curate the truth. They'll make it sound as as good as it possibly can for the shareholders. And we'll see when Samba comes out, and we'll see
come out.
That's kind of inconsistent. And we'll find out, when this series is done. We'll find out when it's all said and done.
If they give us an actual 5-day comparison, the same time frame as Ahsoka, that would be very helpful.
It would.
Right? We could actually get a lot of data from that. The first episode to first episode, 5-day to 5-day. That'd be very helpful for us to compare, because then we have some known things.
Yeah. Also, how many of these critics who have given it such high reviews are going to stick around for the entire show? Just like with Rings of Power.
They rarely do.
Precipitously. Yeah.
They were given 4 episodes.
Yeah.
You're right, MauLer. But I mean, they rarely follow through. And I went over it on the Nooner, because if you go to, we could pull up Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if it's dropped anymore. The audience score was at 20.
It's at 26.
26?
Damn.
It went down again?
Yeah. Well, earlier I checked it right before we went live, and it was at 26.
I had it screenshotted 2 days ago when we were editing the video, and we had to keep changing it.
Keep changing
it. Going down.
Dude, it dropped. I made a video about it, and I was rewatching my video, and I think I said it was like 32. And during my video, I had refreshed, and it had already dropped to 31 while I'm making my video.
Yep. So the critic score, which was hovering 91, 94% in between there. When I went over the critics, if you go to top critics, it was like 70%, something like that. So I went over the critics that they allowed to pad that with. I hadn't heard half of them. I hadn't heard of half of them. Like, nobody's heard of these websites. We went to the websites and I was like, Chris Gore, have you heard of this before? He's all, nope. So it's obviously being review bombed. It's being review bombed. Positively.
Paid reviews. That's something we found about a couple years ago.
Went through in detail how amazing it is. So this makes a lot of sense that it's review bombed, because everybody, you'd be making accounts just to give this 100. I think, if you were a normal person. Obviously.
Absolutely. And
also, they've let in specific people to be added into that critic score who should have no business being there, but simply because of the fact that they might be quote unquote marginalized, they're given access.
Sure.
Yes,
Black nerds of color.
Yeah, There's geeks of color or some shit like that. There's
black girl nerds.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
How are you marginalized from posting on the internet?
They're black.
And some of them are even gay and black.
Institutional racism.
Somebody posting on the internet's got as fair a shot as anyone else.
Wait, your PC doesn't check your race before you sign in?
Not yet.
Mine does, but I had to pay extra.
But I mean, the review bombing nonsense is something we've always talked about. If you've been a fan of anything for any significant amount of time, you understand that the term review bombing is it's passion, and passionate fans overstate things regardless, whether it's positive or negative. And I talk about it all the time. Christopher Nolan fans review bomb the shit out of his movies positively on all of these sites. They just do. Go look at the IMDb top 100. You see all these fucking Nolan movies in there. Zack Snyder fans love his fucking movies. Quentin Tarantino fans love his fucking movies. There's nothing wrong with that. That means that they create passion from people. Disney Star Wars does the same thing, just in reverse. There's no positive reaction to the thing that they're creating. You got a bunch of loud people on Twitter because they want hashtags and retweets and follows to say some things are great, but they're not actually passionate about it. That's why Rose Tico toys are still on the fucking shelves right now, because no one actually is passionate in a positive way about what Disney Star Wars is doing. That's it.
And we went over on the daily stream today, we went over a random assortment of reviews. And are there some half-star, one-star reviews that are maybe a little bit light on detail, and it's the first thing they've ever reviewed? Yeah. You know what? There's about the same amount of 5-star reviews that are pretty light on details made from people that this is their first review they've ever left. Like there's people on both sides that will, you'll need to go and do that. But you can feel the energy and understand the vast majority of these reviews are legitimate, both the positive and negatives. But the media can't fucking handle that.
Well, and then in that article, the Screen Rant article, it breaks down like all the percentages from Disney Star Wars, and you have The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 that have like a 92%, 91 and 92% from
which
fans.
Does show to tell, and goes to show that audiences can be retarded too. So
well, and then Andor has an 86, but then season 3 of Mandalorian has a 51. There's 51. Oh wow, what happened? Did suddenly just the toxic fans show up for Mandalorian season 3 suddenly? Or maybe people did enjoy season 1 and season 2 and they didn't enjoy season 3. Maybe they didn't enjoy Ahsoka, but they did enjoy Andor. And as I've said, you don't need fake attention from the studio to make you understand. Like, I have not seen Andor outside of the first couple episodes. I can tell you right now, there is a ton of positivity for Andor. For the people that have seen it, there's a ton of people liked Andor. They didn't like Ahsoka based on the conversations you hear on social media. No one liked Kenobi. In all fairness, we need more negativity. I'm actually
surprised that audience score is that high.
I know. We need a lot more negativity. I'll tell you why. Because of the nostalgia for the prequels. That's why. Because a lot of people didn't want to just hate the fact that Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor were back. Yep. So because of the nostalgia for the prequels, that's why. Even though it fucked them all up, a lot of people were just happy that Hayden Christensen got another shot to be back in that role. So even if they didn't love it, they were appreciative of it, and they didn't want to send all that vitriol that way. That's 100% why that's not lower, because Obi-Wan Kenobi was dog shit.
Terrible. To be fair, he Vadered.
He Vadered.
At least like 20%.
And yeah, so at the end of the day, passionate people are going to be passionate, whether it's positive or negative. Does that Mandalorian season 1 and season 2 absolutely reflect the overall way that it was received? No, not really. There's a lot of hyperbole in that, probably.
And let's be honest, right? If they had the stats on their end, which they probably do for whatever investigations they've done, that there is dishonesty happening in the positive sense, they would probably say, yeah, but that's okay, though. Like
they're just counteracting the toxic fans. That's what they say.
Well, there's that, but there's also just the fundamental that I kind of despise. I've gone over on EFAP a couple of times. Like, people just don't mind if you're dishonestly positive compared to dishonestly negative. Even though having an emotional reaction, it should be about the honesty, the integrity. It shouldn't be about, but I would prefer that you're overly happy than overly angry. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. That's just, you just don't like people being mad at the thing. That's all.
Yeah.
One of the other just inherently flawed systems for reviewing the television shows in general, both when it comes to critics and the audience, the vast majority of people are going to leave that after they watch the first couple episodes, and they're probably not going to update it or change it or anything like that by the time the show's all out.
Yeah.
You know, that goes for critics and audiences alike. So it's not really a great reflection of the show in its entirety.
It's exactly. If the show was so bad that people didn't finish it, that deserves like a 1 out of 10, 0 out of 10. Like that's a massive criticism on the show, but people won't, they won't update.
You know how I know Disney knew they had a bad show on their hands? Well, aside from having a review embargo when the show premiered, they attacked the fans immediately, preemptively attacking the fans. That's how you know.
Yeah.
They went full George W. Bush as a preemptive strike, baby.
Yeah, they did.
Fuck those motherfuckers.
Mission
Just blow
accomplished.
them to hell
Mission
and back.
accomplished.
That's right.
Yep.
Mission accomplished, baby.
I thought you were going to mention another George. Already mentioned that one.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.